Hey everyone, Mac here. I am not going to teach anything new here, but what I'm going to do is show you all the ways that we've been solving for quadratic equations and how do you know which method we use. We talked about factoring out the greatest common factor. We've done it where we've broken trinomials into binomials. We've done completing the square. We've done a quadratic equation. But now you're sitting here, you're taking a test, you're looking at a problem, and you don't know what to do, okay? Well, first of all, number one, you can always use quadratic equation, okay? They get nasty, but you can always use that for all of them. I can take this one, my A is 3, my B is 18, my C is 24, and you will get the right answer, okay? But it's not the easiest way to do this. So let's kind of go through them and talk about what you would do if you saw this on a test. Step number one, always step number one, ask the question, what's the same? Is there anything you can factor out? So I'm looking at this one right now, and instead of going, okay, well, let me do a factor of 3 and 1, and a 24, and a 12 and 2, and all that, stop. Ask yourself, can you pull anything out? And look at that. A 3 will go into 3, 18, and 24. So I'm going to pull out a 3, and I'm going to get x squared plus 18, hello, that is 18. Okay, so we have x squared plus 6x plus 8 equals 0. Once I have a constant out in front, I don't even care about it anymore. It's gone, okay? It's not even going to factor into the equation. Now, if that said 3x, I have to keep it. But if it's just a number, just a constant, it's not even part of it. Now I'm just solving for this. So the first question I want to ask myself is, can it factor? And if it can, I'm going to do that. If it can't, now I got to look at something else to do. Okay, well, let's see, third term positive, signs are the same, take the sign in the middle. Is there anything that multiplies into 8 and adds to 6? Sure, 4 and 2. Awesome, what are my answers? -4 and -2 are my final answers. Now, I did that last step a little bit quick, but a -4 plus 4 is 0, and a -2 plus 2 is 0. Remember, we're trying to get our factors to 0, okay? You could write x plus 4 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0 if that helps. Let's go on to this one right here. All right, well, let's go. Let's try to factor it. Always try to factor it first. That'll be the best. Boom. Third term is negative, so signs are going to be different, and they need to subtract the 5. What will multiply in the 5 and subtract, not add. Can't add. They have to subtract the 6. And the answer is nothing. So, bummer. So now I'm looking at this going, okay, I can't factor it. Okay, factoring is not going to work. What am I going to do? And what you're going to realize is this. I see that that third term is even. I could quadratic equation it, but you know what? I could probably complete the square and make this better. Probably best for me to do this, x squared plus 6x, move the 5 over here, okay? And put a space and have that just equal 5. Now remember, in completing the square, you take the middle term, or what will be the middle term, take half of it and square it. What's half of 6? 3. What's 3 squared? 9. So I'm going to add 9. Am I allowed to just add 9 to an equation? Well, you are if you do it to the other side too. So I have to add 9 to both sides. Okay? So I add 9 to the left, I add 9 to the right. Why did I add 9? Because it'll put me in this situation where I can write x plus 3 quantity squared. Okay, if that part still freaks you out a bit, you could just third term positive, you know, what factors of 9 that add up to 6? Oh, it's plus 3 and plus 3. Oh, well, that gives me that. Equals 5 plus 9 is 14. Okay, so now we're going to square root both sides, boom, and we're going to go boom, and I'm going to get x plus 3 equals plus or minus square root of 14. Once I subtract 3 from both sides, I'm going to get x equals -3 plus or minus the square root of 14. I can't do anything with 14, and so I'm now done. Now, if that came out to be like 16, it meant that it probably would have factored, okay? Because then you'd have a perfect square, and you would just go, if that said 16, you'd go -3 plus 4, -3 minus 4, and that's how you would get your answers, but that's not what happened. So remember, step number 1, what's the same, what's left over? Step number 2, try to factor it. If it doesn't factor, see if it's complete the square. So now those are basically the two things you want to look at. Now, if you're looking at something, it doesn't factor, the middle term is negative, quadratic equation, okay? So the best way to try to get a sense of this and get a feel for what you should do when you see a certain type of problem, go to the worksheets. I have 3 versions. I'm gonna go problem by problem. I'm gonna walk you through each one of those. Find me on those videos and I'll help you out.